Hello, my beautiful and lovely gamers. My name is Jonal. Today we're taking a look at a software. You have been seeing this when I do some pro Overwatch map analyzing. If you get private coached by me recently, you've seen me using this software. And in general, this is a software I like to do, especially if you are interested in coaching, if you're interested in improving in the game, analyzing the game, understanding map knowledge, stuff like that. This might be a software for you. It's incredibly cheap. It's like €5 for $5. As always, I am not sponsored by anyone. I'm not big enough to get sponsored by anyone, so I just like the software. I think the software that we should get a little bit more attention to. So this is what you will see when you get the software and stuff like that. You can have a bunch of save files here, so you can save sessions with whatever or certain animations, stuff like that. You can also check for updates here. In general, it's a fine little launcher. Sometimes it's a little bit buggy. It's very early access style, really, but they will of course be keep on working on them. Now let's just take a look at a control map, because like all of these maps are just like the control map. Just you will see, it's called this test. You will see that the control maps has these three different versions of it, right? Like here, right? You have all three different versions in one. While on a something like King's Row, Hanamura, whatever, it's like one big drawing, of course, right? So let's just take a look at the Shrine right here, right? So this is where you start really working with the thing. Now let's just, that was actually wrong. Let's go to Windows and Heroes. There we go. Okay, so here you have all your layers. You can remove or spawn in more layers, I suppose. You can remove layer 1. Now we can see more down in here. We can just not remove that. We can remove layer 2, which is some of these behind here, and then we can add roofs if for some reason we would want that, right? As you can see on the map like Sanctum, it makes absolutely no sense to add the roofs, right? On some maps it does, in some situations it does. In fact, that I'm very glad that they defaultly don't have the roof spawns in immediately. You also can set up your spawn points if for some reason you need to know where you spawn from. I think that most people know that, but you know, if for some reason that's a thing, you also can highlight the capture points. If there's capture point, if there's a payload, then there will be a spawned in payload that follow the payload's path. So you can't just like drag and drop the payload wherever you want. You can also highlight the payload's path from maps where there is a payload. And now we can highlight, you know, all the health packs. You can see here where all the megas are, where all the minis are. And this is incredibly important if you don't know these. Mega packs, mini packs is very important to understand where they are, so that you don't chase someone into a room where there is a mega pack and you don't know it, and then you get a health advantage on you. So in general, this is just an incredibly good overview software. On the left hand side, here we have hero spawn-ins. We can spawn in whatever I want. I can spawn in a Kree. I can put the Kree wherever I want. So we can actually spawn in a team composition. That's a Genji. Let's get some dive tanks. Let's get a diva. Let's get a monkey maybe. Where is Winston? There that gorilla is. Right, so let's put these guys a little bit more forward. Get a little point control almost, like this. With the McCree here in the staircase. The Genji a little bit on point. Then we can get a Lucio, since this is King of the Hill maps. Let's get one of those, and let's get a Brigitte, right? They give all the newest heroes. They're also included, of course, including with the maps, and it's free updates for those of you who don't know. You can also, if you want to, as you can see on each individual hill, you can give them the health and armor that they normally will have, right? If for some reason that's something that you want. I don't see the reason why I wouldn't need that, but it's very nice if you want to play certain, certain scenarios where, you know, the monkey dives, and as you can see, he immediately loses all his armor, and then he gets like down to like around 200, right? So now in the scenario, I can keep track of his HP bar at certain scenarios, what's going on. So that's why I rarely use it myself, but you can also just check out, like, they have these ultimates now, right? So that you can talk about scenarios and check scenarios. And in general, remember, if you are simulating and building up pro matches, which is what I like to do, just build up a pro match, like where they're moving, what are they doing. It's a very nice way for you to have to think about, wait, why are they actually doing this, right? Because it's not like just like you just sitting down and watching them run all over the map and look at me, right? You're actually like building up the team composition, how they move, what ultimates they unlock, why they unlock it, right? If you see that the Dragon Blade is built incredibly fast, then you might be like, huh, why did they build it so fast? And you can analyze that much easier. Besides that, you have some more drawing tools if you for some reason want to. Drawing tools are what I use most in this. Right, so you can highlight that the enemy they have control over this high ground up here, and because they have that, right, then they get line of sight control over this area right here. It cuts off here, it cuts off there, right? Oh, see, now I drew too much, right? So now I can just remove that, right? So now they have we in general have control over everything inside of this. They have control over everything inside there. Okay, so we can play line of sight and set up our own defensive team here, for example. Right? That's not a really viable strat, but just to show this example, right? You can also, there's also this like circling tool, which I think is really cool, right? So you can make bubbles or highlight certain areas if you want to. And when it comes to drawing, you can just clear all surfaces. I love that feature. As much as I sometimes draw, it's incredible. You can also make incredibly nice straight lines if for some reason you're like me and you can't draw a straight line worth your life. Some heroes that you can see also has, you know, oh, see, he has flashbang, so he will flash this area if you push, right? In general, there's actually really, really good. Same with D.Va. Like, everyone has their ultimates that you can drag out, like, he's gonna drag and play that area, for example. But D.Va, for example, is actually very important that she's bombing here, right? So some of these ultimates are actually very important, and I like that he added, like, the flashbang, for example. Because it's one of those, if you push, he's gonna do that, so you can drop that there, that he has flashbang, remember that he can stun this area right here, so you don't forget that that's the reason that you won't push that area. When it comes to the animation part, which is like one of the, in my opinion, one of the coolest features of the software. It's incredibly easy. If you've never done animation before, down here, now I'm on frame 0, meaning normally at the start. You can go further back if you want to, but normally the start is on frame 0 always. Let's say, let's move around here, that's about frame 5, and every changes I do to this map now will change. So for example, I can draw McCree over here. Right now he got that path. I can also draw the Winston over there, or Lucio over here, and we get to there, and right? So if I go back to frame 0 now, right, as you can see in before frame 0, there's no spawns, right? Just because I spawned them in at 0. So here at 0, right, then they spawn in, and then they move around as I'm wanting them to move around. Right, then I can change that again. I can go to here. Now the McCree should go here. Then I can go to there, and I think it should go there. Right, so you can do this if you want to make some movement stuff. You can, in general, animate them as you want to, whatever time schedule you want in between. Which is incredibly nice, as that you can do this to break down certain team compositions, like what are the team doing, so that you analyze it, essentially forcing yourself to analyze it. You can also just in general use this to, well, make a scenario and play that scenario for a team, for yourself, whatever, so remember what is going on. And now I could, if this was like me spending a lot of time building a scenario or drawing up a scenario, I could save this, and then I could just save it as like scenario A, or how to dive, or McCree movement system, or whatever I wanted to call it, whatever I'm animating. And then I would have this like go-to animation I could show people, I could show to myself if I forget. And it's just a really, really, really dope tool. I don't think there's anything else like this in Overwatch now. You can also, as you see, remove all keyframes, and then you can reset the timeline, which crashes the software. Okay, cool. As I said, this software is a little bit early access, so sometimes that kind of stuff does happen. That's also why it's incredibly important that if you're going to build something, that you build something else. But normally I think I've encountered about 2 bugs. And every time I've encountered like 2 crashes, and every time I've done, I've gone into their Discord server and I said, hey, under help or something, I said, hey, I crashed, and they were like, and then the developer, the guy that's developing this with his friend, he was like, okay, cool, can you send me the recent log file? And I sent him the log file. Then he explained, he was like, okay, cool, this is the reason, I'll work on that for next update, right? So he's incredible in touch with the community. I love that. I think the guy is really cool. I sat down with him, had a chat with him, talked a little bit to see what he has of experience and what he's thinking about the software. And in general, guys, I think this is a cool software. I would like to hear your opinion down the comments. Do you like the software? Do you think it's awesome? Do you think it's like, nah, it's not really needed for me, but I understand why? I would love to hear those opinions down in the comment. Are you gonna buy it? Besides that, guys, I hope you have a lovely gaming experience. My name has been Jonal. You guys stay awesome. Keep the enemy in your crosshair.